what a wonderful way to capture what we're celebrating this year. Wasn't that great? Absolutely. I'm Cheryl Bascom. I'm the Vice President of Alumni Relations and the class of 1982. And most importantly today, I'm the co-chair of the 250th anniversary with my esteemed colleague, a man I admire more than I can tell you, Professor Don Pease. Welcome to the beginning of what promises to be an incredible year. This is a celebration that's been more than 3 years in the making, and I have the great privilege of being able to ride this train in at the end of the line. But lots of people have put a lot of work into this, and so many others really did the heavy lifting that got us to where we are today. First, a thank you to Don and original co-chair Martha Beatty, my predecessor in Alumni Relations, who is here with us. They really laid the groundwork for all the activities, events, and things that are coming. And thank you to E.J. Kiefer, Sarah Campbell, and Chair of the Board of Trustees, Laurel Ritchie, here with us in Baker Library, and more than 20 committees worth of people. You can imagine how many people that is. And they all made this happen. And a huge thanks to Chris Hardy, our project manager, whose organizational skills and deep knowledge of Dartmouth really brought together the details that are so critical to launching this whole year. And thanks to all of you as well. Those of you who are gathered today at Baker Library. Yeah. At the Hop. At Tuck and Thayer. At Collis. At the Guarini Graduate Lounge. At Geisel, Hitchcock, and Lead Arena. Thank you for coming together as one Dartmouth to celebrate and kick off our 250th anniversary. What is this 250th, this sesquicentennial? Well, it's an opportunity to celebrate an enduring institution. It's a look at our history to understand how it's informed where we are today and what we want our future to look like. We are honoring our past, and we are inspiring our future. We have an incredible portfolio of events, of activities, of conferences, of classes, exhibits, and celebrations, and things we haven't even yet thought of. And those are all going to happen in 2019. We hope you'll join us and participate. And we'll be lighting the world green for Dartmouth on January 12th. Iconic landmarks and buildings all over the world will be lit up green to start our 250th anniversary. From Dartmouth Hall to the Empire State Building, to Philadelphia Boathouse Row, to the Great Wheel in Seattle, and even the Interbank Building in Lima, Peru. All over the world, lights will be green for Dartmouth. And we have a powerful service initiative, the Call to Serve. It's an opportunity for the whole Dartmouth community, Dartmouth alumni, Dartmouth students, faculty, and staff to come together to join in service under the banner of Dartmouth, so that our anniversary, our 250th anniversary celebration, has an impact on our world. We have an aspirational goal of 250,000 hours of service worldwide under the banner of Dartmouth. That's right, 250,000 hours of service. Imagine the power of that. You can be part of it. In fact, it'll take all of us to make it happen, so please do some service under the name of Dartmouth for our anniversary. And there's a lot to see and do and share, and all of it's on the website, or will be, 250.dartmouth.edu. Please visit and find out how you can connect and participate and what is happening that's new and what kinds of things are going to be coming up in the future. And share your stories and your stuff on social media. It'll be fun to see how people engage and what kind of cool things they're doing and what is lighting up green. And that's hashtag Dartmouth250. And now, my partner and co-chair, Don Pease, Professor of English and Comparative Literature, the Ted and Helen Geisel Third Century Professor in the Humanities, Chair of the Master of Arts and Liberal Studies program, an incredible orator, and an even better man, will tell you more about what will be happening and how it'll all hang together. Don, it's truly an honor to serve with you on the 250th.
Since that was Cheryl Bascom's debut appearance at Dartmouth, and she came into this venture late in July and brought the entire 250th celebration into this culminating point, I think she deserves a real Dartmouth hand of applause. Honoring our past, inspiring our future. I cannot pronounce those words without turning them into a directive of acknowledgement. The person who spent 3.5 years to bring us to the point at which the baton could be passed to Cheryl Bascom is with us tonight. It's Martha Beatty. Let's thank her for all of the work that she's done. Martha excelled in crew. Cheryl Bascom excelled in track. I'm glad that Martha didn't kick me off the boat, and Cheryl let me run on the same track alongside her. But I want to thank all of the persons who made this event possible, most especially E.J. Kiefer, Sarah Campbell, and I don't know whether she's here, but if Mimi Simpson is not, let her name echo, because the heroic acts of attention she devoted to every detail of this celebration became for me an inspiration. Folks don't know that administrators are involved in the most significant aspect of a liberal arts education. They put the liberal arts at the core. When fellow faculty asked me what was it like to work for several years on the administrative side of the street, I explained, well, it's a very different relation to performance anxiety. As a faculty member, I worry that I can't get enough things done, and I take a lot of time not doing them. But on the administrative side, they get so much done, I get anxious over its having been produced so quickly. It's a remarkable core of workers. The signature event in honoring our past and inspiring our future is the Dartmouth College case. Because if that case had not taken place in 1819, there would be no future and there would be only a lamentable past for this institution. To make that the central piece of this commemoration, we're going to go to Washington, D.C. on January 31st for a re-argument of the Dartmouth College case with 2 Dartmouth graduates, Neil Katyal from the class of 1982, Solicitor General under Barack Obama, Greg Gare, Dartmouth, class of 1982, Solicitor General under George Herbert Walker Bush. And they will argue the parts of Webster and Woodard. And after they do so, we're going to be very hopeful that Justice Roberts will come up with the same decision in Washington, D.C. in January that Justice John Marshall did in 1819. Honoring the past, inspiring the future, is also what might be described as the tempo for a liberal arts education. If the liberal arts is at the core of this celebration, the relationship between teachers and students is what makes that the core. Scholars who love to teach, students who are eager to learn. That's the temporality of a liberal arts education. And the Dartmouth College case has provided the template for every one of the events that will take place on this campus throughout the 250th celebration. The Dartmouth College case is at once an event away from Dartmouth, it's a college course at Dartmouth, and it will become the basis for a conference, March 1st and 2nd at Dartmouth. 8 college courses are on offer. In addition to the Dartmouth College case, there'll be a course taught by Susan Ackerman titled, Is Dartmouth a Religion? Course taught by Deborah King, The Collective Memory of Slavery at Dartmouth. Course taught by Jose Del Pino about George Ticknor, who was one of Daniel Webster's contemporaries, who's responsible for having invented the Hispanic Studies program at Harvard University. At this point, I want to thank all of the faculty involved in the faculty subcommittee who prepared for the celebration. Sylvia Spita and Israel Reyes in particular. Let's thank them publicly. In addition to the 8 courses, there will be 20 conferences throughout the academic year. And those conferences will be calibrated by 50-year events. 1769, there'll be a conference that dedicates itself to an understanding of Dartmouth's place in the global economy in that year. 50 years later, the Dartmouth College case. In 1869, a member of the physics and astronomy department at Dartmouth discovered coronium that changed the way in which astronomers looked at the sun and understood spectroscopy. In 1919, the first woman faculty was hired at Dartmouth in the Russian department, and there'll be a conference celebrating the centennial of women faculty at Dartmouth. Finally, there will be a conference on events that took place at Dartmouth in 1969, which was the bicentennial celebration, which was literally a refounding moment in Dartmouth's history. It was a moment in which students demanded that Dartmouth become coeducation. Students demanded that Dartmouth rededicate itself to the initial charter by founding a Native American Studies program, that Dartmouth change its demographics, and that Dartmouth become an institution that was understood to be a world-class light in the firmament of higher education everywhere. When Daniel Webster argued the Dartmouth College case in 1819, he described Dartmouth as one of the lesser lights in the academic firmament. Dartmouth in 2019 has become one of the preeminent academic institutions in the world. And in order to bring that knowledge to the world, we're going to have a round table in which Dartmouth's unique vision for a liberal arts education of the 21st century will be discussed by the deans of all the academic programs and presided over by President Hanlon. President Hanlon, like all the scholar teachers who have returned to Dartmouth, returned with the sense of a mission to transform this institution that they loved for all the right reasons in the past into the basis for imagining a Dartmouth in the future, our present and our future, that will become not just loved, but revered, respected, and emulated. Please join me in welcoming the president of Dartmouth College, Philip Hanlon, class of 1977, who's already taken us 3 giant strides into that future.
Thank you, Don. And as many of you know, I first met Don in an English 5 classroom when he was my English 5 professor in the fall of 1973. And so I have been learning from Don, and I still learn from Don every day for 45 years now. So, Don, thank you. And Cheryl and Martha, thank you also for making all this so possible and well thought out. So I could not be more proud than to join you on this momentous occasion, the start of Dartmouth's 250th anniversary year, in which we will reflect on how far we've come and how far we have yet to go. Those who signed the Dartmouth Charter back in December of 1769 could never have envisioned the richness of intellect, backgrounds, and activities that characterize today's campus. Nor could they have predicted the impact that this institution would have on the world 2.5 centuries later. So no, they were no doubt focused on the inaugural Dartmouth class, the 4 students who would compose the great class of 1771. All 4 were white males, all hailed from New Hampshire or an adjoining state, and in today's parlance, each was an undergraduate doing pre-professional studies. 3 were preparing for the clergy, 1 was preparing for the law. By contrast, this June, the great class of 2019 will be close to 2,000 strong, an equal mix of men and women. 40% will be people of color. They will have come from all 50 states and scores of foreign nations. They will earn undergraduate and graduate degrees in more than 60 concentrations, many in subject areas like computer science that go far beyond the wildest imaginations of those first 4 graduates in 1771. And despite all that has changed since those earliest days in the college, one thing remains the same, and that is that Dartmouth is a dynamic institution. It is a work in progress. It's a place that at times falls far short, as human institutions inevitably do, but one that is always evolving and striving to better itself. For the past 2.5 centuries, we've navigated our way through good times and bad, through times of peace and times of war, through controversies that made us stronger, and missteps that made us wiser. And so our arrival at this sesquicentennial milestone is indeed a cause for celebration. It is a time for us to reflect on our evolution as an institution, on the defining moments, both trying and triumphant, that have shaped our campus character, and on our collective achievements as a community, including the work of the brilliant minds who've taught here and the bright young minds that they've inspired. Here in Hanover and all around the girdled earth, we have proven our mettle through the characteristics that will forever differentiate Dartmouth. Our passion for and commitment to liberal arts learning, the multidisciplinary lens through which we view the world and its incumbent challenges and opportunities. Our close-knit community based on deep intellectual engagement, the people with whom we share our thoughts and our ideas and who support us in our ambitions, collaborate with us, and enlighten us with the diversity of their cultures and backgrounds. Our profound sense of place deep in these North Woods, a magnificent special place that nurtures our souls, that inspires and humbles us with its majesty. Our adventuresome spirit, which drives us to challenge ourselves and each other intellectually, physically, and emotionally in all that we do. It is this indelible spirit that's led to the breakthrough discoveries on campus and made Dartmouth graduates known for their global leadership and impact. And finally, Dartmouth's role as a base camp to the world, a place that eagerly sends us out to make a positive difference in the world, but is always there, as she's been for me, to welcome us back home. These are the characteristics that have enabled us to thrive for 250 years and will enable us to do so for 250 more. Everyone connected to the college has contributed to the Dartmouth story. And so I encourage all of you to participate in the special slate of exhibits and events, performances, activities that we've got planned for this year in honor of the 250th. Through them, you'll find vibrant storytelling that will bring the history, the heritage, the hallmarks of our beloved college to life. And yet, our 250th, we must not forget, our 250th is as much about our future as it is about our past. This anniversary compels us to once again look ahead, and more boldly, I hope, than we ever have before. And so I hope you will also join us as we imagine the future of Dartmouth over the coming year. Dartmouth's path has not been perfect, but it has always been replete with aspiration and progress. That's perhaps all we can ask as individuals, as colleagues, and as an institution on this long and storied journey we call Dartmouth. Thank you very much for being here today, and enjoy the festivities.